to go pop. A group like 3-6 Mafia just needed to keep doing what we were doing and just put a little twist on it. I don't necessarily blame Columbia for looking at us like that. In their minds, they wanted us to keep getting bigger and bigger. We wanted that too. So Paul and I ended up doing the pop records.
We're checking out Juicy J's Chronicles of the Juice Man. Hit the thumbs up button. Let's go ahead and get into it.
And it just didn't work, man. It was horrible. Dr. Luke said he liked the way I wrote, though. We were in LA, 1,800 miles from Memphis, and there was a new wave of rappers like Gucci Mane that were coming up. The new producers' beats weren't sounding like ours. We were still making dark beats with keyboards, pianos, and strings. They were using different sounds, synthy sounds. I used to hate that shit, but that's when the trapping movement came in like a tidal wave. Gucci Mane, T.I., and Jeezy were killing it. On top of that, we were doing shows here and there and had some opportunities. In 2006, we did a rock song for Jackass #2, Getting Fucked Up. I'd been listening to Billy Idol and Metallica and had so many rock ideas, so I'm glad we had that opportunity. Things were happening, but then the phone stopped ringing. I was also going through a major family conflict. Project Pat had been released from prison July 28, 2005, and was readjusting to society. Upon his release, he was in a different frame of mind and didn't hit the studio right away. When he started recording again, I thought his fire was gone, that he was a little rusty. Everybody in the camp was telling me how good his new material was, so I went to the studio to check it out, to make sure I wasn't missing something. Even though DJ Paul and I had produced everything, I thought it was terrible. If I was a Project Pat fan, there's no way I would listen to this, I told Pat. This is garbage. This ain't it. Pat wasn't hearing it. He also didn't care about the bigger picture of the business either. 3-6 Mafia was riding high thanks to our Oscar, so Columbia Records and parent company Sony wanted us to turn in his album. Pat didn't care. Sony will be fine, he said. But Sony wasn't interested in Project Pat because he had been incarcerated for almost 3 years. I didn't know why Pat was acting like this. He was out of jail, making money, and working on new music. Pat didn't want to do anything to help set up the album either, so its release date kept getting pushed back. Project Pat's ego was so out of control that I had to ease back a bit. When Crook by the Book, the Fed Story LP finally arrived in stores December 5th, 2006, it didn't move major units. Consumed by the album's failure, my arguments with Pat, and my phone not ringing, I was discouraged and worried. I was hoping to retire. I wanted to retire on my own terms, not be forced out of the game. For the first time in my career, I started to wonder if things were over. While I was in LA and driving around, all this weird-ass music was playing on the radio. DJ Paul, Project Pat, and I, along with our homies Computer and Big Treese, were doing our MTV reality show, Adventures in Hollywood, in 2006 and 2007. And I started noticing cocaine packs all around the house we were living in for the show. I even saw some in the backyard, too. I told Pat, "Damn, that cocaine is back." Cocaine is one of the main reasons why 3-6 Mafia isn't together today. The drug usage broke the group up and really fucked up everything. Cocaine is the devil, the Antichrist. It's a different type of monster, I started feeling like Paul and I weren't on the same page. Paul and I had never really had an argument since we started making music together. We'd been on the same page our whole lives. But now, we'd won an Oscar, and we're living in LA. And then we started disagreeing a lot, having small arguments. Shit had changed. Paul was on a rock and roll vibe, which I didn't like. I liked listening to rock music, and I looked at the Jackass song as a one-off. That was just a song, not what I wanted 3-6 Mafia to sound like moving forward. I wanted to do old school 3-6 Mafia music, but I was acting like I was a trap star, which was way off base. I had gone from making music the way I wanted to make it to, oh, this sound is hot. Let me just do it if that's what the people want to hear. Sure, it sounded good, but it wasn't 3-6 Mafia. For the first time in my career, I was trying. I wasn't just doing. Our final 3-6 Mafia album, Last to Walk, arrived in stores June 24, 2008. It was one of our worst releases. We were in LA pretty much full time at that point, but we should have been spending more time in Memphis. To people outside of our circle, the album showed how creative we were. But since we were living in Los Angeles, the album had a Hollywood sound. That was a mistake. In addition to it helping me musically, I would have spent more time with my mom had I been home. When I was in Memphis, she loved going to Red Lobster and Bonefish Grill. We'd hold hands and pray. My mother would tell me that she didn't understand what I was doing in my room when I was growing up, but that she was so happy for me and proud of me. My mom kept my Oscar for me. I didn't want anybody to touch it, knock it over, or break it. So she put it in a box in her closet. Maybe she thought having it in her house was good luck, a symbol of sorts of all that I'd accomplished. One thing I did know, and that we talked about at our dinners, was that we were so thankful that we made it out of the hood. Back in Los Angeles, old problems were resurfacing. Lord Infamous hadn't been in the group for years at this point. Then a club owner I know in LA hit me up. He was telling me about Lord Infamous, that he was asking the owner for pills. I felt nervous that Lord was out in LA looking for drugs. In LA, as long as you have money, the drug man is your friend. You can get whatever you want, and you can get it fast.
Anyway, y'all, this is Juicy J's book, Chronicles of the Juice Man. If y'all want to check out the book, go ahead and check it out on Audible. It's a really good book. It's really easy listening to, read, just learning how these guys came from the notorious streets of Memphis to, winning Oscars and doing TV shows and soundtracks to movies and stuff. It's really inspiring, you know what I'm saying? So if y'all want to check it out, it's on Audible. It's called Juicy J, Chronicles the Juice Man. So y'all can check it out on Audible. Hit that thumbs up button. And let me know what y'all think once y'all check it out in the comments. Appreciate it.
Hey, do you want some free money and gift cards? Wow, who doesn't, right? Charles Arn's World will be hiding cash and gift cards around Southern California in the month of June. These gift card money drops will be daily. Want to get your hands on some? Subscribe to the channel to know when's the next money drop.